Janet and the Mirror of Tomorrow. Janet was known throughout school for her beauty. With her sleek hair, flawless skin, and confident strut, she turned heads wherever she went. But while her teachers spoke passionately about melting ice caps and rising sea levels, Janet barely listened. Her thoughts often wandered to her reflection, how the sunlight caught her eyes or how perfectly her lips curved. "I don't get why they make such a big deal out of climate change," she whispered to her best friend Tanya one afternoon. "It's not like anything's happening here." Tanya shrugged, always more interested in nature than mirrors. "Maybe not here, but it's happening somewhere." That day, as they walked home, Janet's bag slipped from her shoulder and her compact mirror fell out, shattering into glittering pieces on the pavement. "Oh no, my mirror," she groaned, bending down. Just then, they passed a small street stall run by an old woman with a wrinkled face and a twinkle in her eyes. Laid out in front of her were dozens of mirrors, all different shapes and sizes, gleaming in the sun. "You seem like someone who loves a good mirror," the woman said kindly. "Perhaps this one is for you." She handed Janet a small, round mirror in a frame that shimmered with what looked like tree roots and tiny clouds. It was unlike anything Janet had seen. That night, at home, Janet sat cross-legged on her bed and lifted the new mirror to admire herself, but what she saw made her gasp. It wasn't her room behind her reflection. It was a city drowned in water. Skyscrapers poked out from flooding oceans. People were paddling boats through streets. The sky glowed an eerie orange. What on earth? The next morning, she looked again. This time, the mirror showed a parched desert where a forest once stood. Animals, once vibrant and wild, now lay still or scattered. Lakes had turned into cracked bowls of dust. Each day, Janet stared into the mirror, and each day, she was shown a century further into the future. She watched glaciers crumble, wildfires rage through once green hills, and hurricanes devastate entire communities. Coral reefs faded to pale skeletons. Birds vanished from skies. The air thickened with smoke. The world she once took for granted was falling apart. Soon, Janet began changing. She stopped spending hours in front of mirrors to see her reflection. Instead, she read articles on climate change, studied documentaries, and noticed things around her, trees that looked weaker, summers that felt hotter, and the sudden silence of bees. One afternoon, desperate to share what she'd seen, she called Tanya. "Tanya, look in this mirror. Please." Tanya tilted her head. "It's just a mirror, Janet. I only see us." "No, wait, just look harder. The future is in there." But all Tanya saw was Janet's reflection beside her own. No one else could see what Janet saw. But she knew she had to do something. The next day, Janet went to Miss Rogers, her science teacher. "Miss, I know I haven't cared much before," she began. "But I want to help. We have to do something. People need to understand what's happening to the planet." Moved by Janet's sincerity, Miss Rogers arranged a climate change awareness day with the head teacher. Students, teachers, parents, and community members joined. There were booths about rising temperatures, disappearing species, plastic pollution, renewable energy, and small actions everyone could take. Janet gave a heartfelt speech. "I used to care about nothing but my reflection," she said. "But now I care about what's behind it, our planet. If we keep living the way we are, the Earth we know won't be here for future generations." The event was a success. People began planting trees, reducing plastic use, biking more, and educating others. That night, Janet looked into the mirror again. This time, she saw something different. A forest regrowing, children swimming in clean rivers, polar bears on floating ice, wind turbines spinning on green hills, people working together. She smiled. For once, her own reflection wasn't the most beautiful thing she saw. Because the mirror had shown her more than the future. It had shown her what could be, and the beauty of someone willing to fight for it. Great job.